What is going on, everyone? It is time for part 2 of our ranking of the states by their official nickname series. That was quite a title. If you haven't seen the first one, I have a link down below and you can just go back and watch that and come back to this one if you want to watch them in order. The first part included the Beaver State, the Equality State, the Cornhusker State, and the Garden State, to name a few. If you haven't already picked up on it, those are the worst of the worst because those names suck. This next video includes some that are a little bit better, but not much. They still suck too. To recap, states have always had nicknames. They're there to give you a small glimpse into the state. They tell you a little bit about the people, the history, and the land inside the borders of each state. That's what they're supposed to do. Some of them tell you nothing about the state, while others sort of confuse you about the state. We've already looked at the bottom of the barrel. Let's see who's next at number 40. Number 40, Utah. The abbreviation for Utah is UT. The full nickname for the state is the Beehive State. The beehive is a symbol of hard work and industry. Utah's official state emblem is a beehive, and the state's motto is simply the word industry. See, what they're going for is a comparison of how their people work as hard as bees do. Get it? The beehive appears on the Utah flag, the state seal. The beehive cluster is recognized as Utah's official star cluster, and of course, the state insect of Utah is a honeybee. Every kid's favorite movie in this state is Bee Movie. The official state classic literature quote is "to be or not to be," and the official cup size is B. Now, if I could just find the double D hive state. Number 39, North Dakota. The abbreviation for North Dakota is ND. The full nickname is the Peace and Garden State. The North Dakota Motor Vehicle Department placed the phrase on the license plates in 1956. Now, the International Peace and Garden straddles the boundary between North Dakota and the Canadian province of Manitoba. Now, what is that? It's a garden we got together on the border and made a garden to promote peace between the two countries. The nickname became so popular that it was formally adopted by the North Dakota State Legislature in 1957. A year later after it was put on the license plates. Now that's all well and hippie-ish that they have a peace garden with Canada. Did we need one? Probably not. We seem to have an okay relationship with Canada. Is it too obscure to be put on a license plate and used as the state's nickname? Absolutely. They have a secondary one that's far better, the Sioux State. And that's the Native Americans, not something to do with personal injury attorneys. But the Sioux State, named after the people that populated this land before we got here. Number 38, Maryland. The abbreviation for Maryland is MD as in doctor. Full nickname for the state is the Old Line State, as in line, single line, not line, roar, line as in line up people. During the Revolutionary War in the United States, the troops from Maryland that fought in the war were known as the Maryland Line Military. According to some historians, General George Washington gave this name to Maryland because its regular line troops served courageously in many Revolutionary War battles. Okay, so it's got a decent backstory, but the backstory, it's been lost on about 3 generations. It's an old name, and it was kind of an obscure part of the whole big story of the Revolutionary War. It's time to change things up. Maybe use one of your additional nicknames, like the Free State. That's kind of timeless. You could use that forever. Makes sense? Just don't use the other additional nickname. It's the Cockade State. That sounds like a chicken-flavored sports drink with electrolytes, or an all-dude naked off-Broadway show. Cockade. Everyone come on down and see Cockade. That just doesn't sound right. Number 37, Massachusetts. The abbreviation for Massachusetts is MA, and the full nickname is the Bay State. Don't know why. Cape Cod Bay is part of Massachusetts, and the state was also home to the Massachusetts Bay Company, which acted as the government for the most part until about 1684. Why did they settle on the Bay State? Massachusetts has so many better things it could have gone with that this shouldn't be a thing. There were so many legit Revolutionary War happenings in Boston and Massachusetts that they should have gone with one of those. The Boston Tea Party. The Boston Massacre happened in Massachusetts. That was a serious spark in the Revolution. Now, it's not like the Old Line State. I know I gave Maryland a hard time about how old it was because it was part of the Revolutionary War and all that, but that one was kind of minor. The Boston Tea Party is a well-known piece of history to this day. Should have gone with that. The Bay State sucks. They do have 2 backup ones, the Colony State, which makes a little more state. This is one of the original colonies, and the Spirit of America, which sounds like a ship or something. Number 36, North Carolina. The abbreviation for North Carolina is NC, and the full nickname is the Tar Heel State. The nickname stems from the way General Robert E. Lee, a Confederate leader, spoke about the Tar Heel Boys during war. The name stuck, sort of like tar on your heel. The term Tar Heel dates back to North Carolina's early history when the state was the leading producer of supplies for the naval industry. Workers who distilled turpentine from the sticky sap and pine trees and burned pine to produce tar and all that nonsense. Well, during the hot summer months, they'd do it barefoot, and undoubtedly, they'd collect a bunch of tar on their heels. To call someone a tar heel was to imply that they're like manual labor type people, a lowly trade, you know what I mean? Like the fry guy at McDonald's. So North Carolina celebrates the unskilled labor. Great. It's a great thing. I don't know why you'd name your state after that, but they did. They got a couple other ones, the Old North State and the Turpentine State, which I don't know if either of those are any better. The people of North Carolina are immensely proud of this. One of their colleges is the Tar Heels. This is a big thing to these people, and I'm sure my friend Greg is going to send me an evil message on Facebook because of this. He's a hardcore North Carolina fan, and he's from there, everything. He thinks Michael Jordan, who went to North Carolina, is like the greatest thing ever. It's weird. Number 35, Vermont. The abbreviation for Vermont is VT, and the full nickname is the Green Mountain State. The name Vermont originated from the French term Verdmont, V-E-R-D. Second word is M-O-N-T. I think I pronounced it right, but anyway, in French it means Green Mountain. So they decided to go with that. This reminds me of a place that had to turn in a nickname to someone and forgot to do it till the night before. They had no thinking. They just, what do we name it? What do we name it? Some French guy in the back of the room said, you have a lot of green mountains, let's go with that. What's the French word for green mountains? Vermont. Okay, perfect. There we go. There's no real creativity or history here. They don't even have a backup for it. Vermont is a quiet state that nobody remembers is a state until someone brings up Bernie Sanders. Then you're, oh yeah, he's from Vermont. Most people on the West Coast couldn't pick out Vermont on a map unless it had the word Vermont on it. But if it was a blank map, they have no idea where it is. They should change their nickname to the Hidden in Plain Sight State. Number 34, Washington. The abbreviation for Washington is WA. Full nickname is the Evergreen State. Contrary to popular belief, the Evergreen State has nothing to do with Washington being one of the first states to legalize weed. Washington was nicknamed the Evergreen State for its abundant evergreen forests by C.T. Conover, a Seattle realtor and historian. The Evergreen State nickname is very well known and widely used, but it was never officially adopted by Washington State's legislature. These people are afraid of commitment. An additional nickname for Washington is the State of Love and Trust. That sounds like some politician got caught with a stripper and came up with that name to calm his wife down. Number 33, Rhode Island. The abbreviation for Rhode Island is RI, and the full nickname is the Ocean State. And I'm not sure why. The Ocean State can be seen on Rhode Island license plates, so they've gone all in. They've even got coins with it on there. I don't get it. Rhode Island is known for its sandy shores and seaside colonial towns, blah, blah, blah. That's what it says on the state's website. I'm not sure why they went with this one. There are two methods that measure shoreline. Method 1 only counts oceans and bays, but doesn't include rivers and lakes. In Method 1, they came in 20th place for coastline. The second method, they're 23rd. Arkansas almost beat them and they're landlocked. This one is like false advertising. Additional nicknames for Rhode Island, though, is Little Rhodey, which I don't know about that one. Sounds like a midget that works behind the scenes for a band. And the Plantation State, which I don't know about that one either. They're kind of screwed. They need a new one. Number 32. Texas. The abbreviation for Texas is TX, and the full nickname is the Lone Star State. The nickname for Texas, the Lone Star State, was only made official in 2015, not too far back. The first official use of the Lone Star came in 1836 when the Congress of the Republic of Texas adopted a flag with a 5-point gold star on a background. This one, again, isn't much creativity. It's just a star on their flag and they ran with it. The only reason it isn't lower is because of the people. Texans love this flag and may punch you in the mouth after a few too many Shiner Box for talking trash about their flag. I'm not even kidding. They take it very serious. And number 31, New Hampshire. The abbreviation for New Hampshire is NH. The full nickname is the Granite State. Now this one sucks unless you're a granite enthusiast, and if you know a granite enthusiast, congratulations, you know a weirdo. They have a lot of granite in this state. It's been quite the industry for them over the years. They had a really cool granite cliff or rock formation, whatever you want to call it, that looked like an old man. They called it the Old Man of the Mountain, or some called it the Great Stone Face. Those people are probably the people who played Dungeons and Dragons. The formation collapsed to the ground between midnight and 2 a.m. on May 3rd, 2003. Sadness over the collapse has been so great that people have visited and paid tribute, including leaving flowers and writing poems. They're writing poems about some rocks. Yeah, John Denver wrote songs about the Rocky Mountains, so I guess it's okay. Anyway, they do have some additional ones, the Mother of Rivers, which I don't understand, and the White Mountains, which I guess is a counter to their next door neighbor, Vermont's Green Mountains. Who knows? But this one's just kind of weak, but we're getting towards the better ones. Alright, so that's today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. We'll have another one up tomorrow that'll get through the next 10. Don't forget all the links below. Buy a t-shirt. I just came out with a new t-shirt that says, being offended is not a skill. So for all of you that are tired of people just being offended by everything, this is the shirt for you. So you can pick one up, support the channel. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.